Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Archangels and Ascended Masters, for the perfect guidance, perfect clarity, and perfect peace that's here for all of us right now. Thank you to the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels. We thank you for this opportunity to stretch everything out, to let everything have more room, including our bodies, including our consciousness, including our peace of mind. And in this spaciousness, we allow more peace, more love, and more angelic contact and connection with guides. If we could just breathe into that, and perhaps if you want to physically stretch in any way, shape, or form, your arms, your neck, your back. And if we could just breathe in and feel your energy field stretching out. So if that feels like 10 feet, let's go to, 15 or 20. If it's 20 feet, let's go to 30. Let's just breathe in and just feel energy stretching, and very simply more being available. So if we could just lovingly breathe into all that. Wonderful. If we can notice leaping like ballet dancers into the space that you're in, let's notice Archangel Michael, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Gabriel, just leaping in. And if we could just notice, if we could put our full attention on the energy of those three angels, Michael, Ariel, and Gabriel, and just feel their presence and feel them being right where you are, and letting them, or noticing them connecting directly with the core of your being, which is very familiar to them. So no mystery, like picking up a conversation where you left it off with a good friend. Let's just feel this instant connection, just noticing they're always with us. We're just allowing our attention to go to the connection. If we could just breathe in and feel all of that. And if we could let that connection itself ground even more, sink in even more, and stretch even further. And so if we could release or bypass any sense of obligation of things being a certain way, and let's very simply allow these three angels to hold the role of archangels, helping the human. And let's very simply let them focus on the atmosphere around you. Let's let them mitigate and release any smoke that might be around, anything that's impacting your body, be that in your feet, your legs, your hips, your torso, your rib cage, your lungs, your organs, your skin, your nerves, your hips, your spine, your back, your neck, your arms, your head. Just letting more space, more fluidity, and more health come to every single part of your body. And if we could notice delicate aspects of humanity, like equilibrium, all the small bones and muscles and tissues and tendons in your ears and eyes, everything connected with taste and your sense of smell. If we could just breathe into the angels working on all of this, and all being very simple and very loving. So we'll just breathe into all that. And if we could notice, but without any change on their part, the angels, in their words, tackling harder problems. So if we could just breathe into anything that feels hard, or anything you're aware of, let's say like fires, or the threat of fires, or the byproduct of fires, like smoke, if we could just take in a breath, anything personal, anything national, anything international, anything global, and very simply allowing the angels to help. So indeed, if we could let your nervous system get elongated, which might include your sense of patience or any impatience that's happening, allowing your physical body to adjust to what's going to serve its highest possible good. So like alignment, like tuning in a radio, we could just breathe in and let that happen, letting the angels help that out. And noticing your experience of faith expanding and stretching. And if we could notice with that, as always, if we could just consciously take a moment for each of us individually to move closer to the angels, be that by taking in a deep breath and letting your attention go to them, whether you feel them, see them, hear them, or know that they're there. Let's very simply allow ourselves to move closer to them and really feeling their magnificence, reveling in their presence. And we'll take the simple step of asking them for more help if we could just breathe in. And we'll just lovingly say out loud, "Thank you, angels, for helping me in every part of my life." Thank you, angels, for good things happening everywhere. Thank you, angels, for helping to put out fires. Thank you, angels, for helping me to exist with ease and grace. Wonderful. If we could just breathe in, if we could notice a shift in alignment, if we could notice everything that was just said, let's notice that taking immediate effect and it raising up your vibration so we could feel an elevation and to release having to negotiate with all sorts of varied energies in humanity, including seemingly negative ones. Let's just feel a different place being inhabited by you that is much more positive, much more healthy, and is in alignment with who you are and what would serve you. So if we could just breathe in and feel perfect balance. And the key thing, Archangel Michael's pointing to the key thing being, if we could feel the space where you're not negotiating or having to deal with the energy of other people, you're not having to work through the energy of other people through your body. So just breathe in and just notice that being cleared away. And noticing a great sense of ease being present right now. Great. And if we can notice Archangel Michael once again having your focus, if you can notice him in very strategic places, him poking you, and perhaps those being pressure points like he's activating your body, parts of meridians, chakras. But the key thing is pressure points. And when we press pressure points on our body, it releases things, releases energy, releases tension. If we could just breathe in, and if we could see that as being anywhere that's tender on your body. And what Michael is advocating for is if you want to touch your own third eye, and perhaps even run your finger over the ridge of your nose down to your upper lip, which is the end of the meridian. If we could just feel everything in action right now. And everything within you being enhanced. Your intuition being enhanced, the health of your body being enhanced. Everything having more space. Wonderful. And if we could very simply notice, and this is in angel language, a giddy indifference to what other people are doing. If we could just breathe into that and just notice what it's like to really, not caring always sounds harsh, but to have major non-attachment to what other people are doing. And that might include people who are really close to you. If we could just take in a breath and just notice this non-attachment space where you might be interested but not attached. You might care about the outcome, but could be non-attached. Or you might watch with wonder without attachment. Let's just breathe and notice what that affords you, what space that brings to you. If we could just notice that space, be that with a child, a spouse, a neighbor, a loved one. So when you're caring for, wonderful. And if we could take that same non-attachment and look at all the fires and smoke that are happening through that lens of non-attachment, if we could just breathe into that, and let's indeed call forward the guide, the God, the elemental connected with fire. We could just breathe and notice who that is for you. It might not be someone you know, might be a new guide, might be an existing guide. We could just breathe in and letting one of these guides connected with fire come forward and offer you an explanation or a reason. Wonderful. And if we could very simply just notice and lovingly notice what has come forward for you and where that point of view offers you more space, more ease, and more grace. So let us lovingly breathe into all that. And with this greater understanding in place, even if it feels slight or a different perspective has been offered, let's very simply visualize and feel the energy of the fires being put out, the air being clear, and the grace and appreciation and gratitude in which we move through our lives and the aftermath of an experience. And if we can notice, with fire comes renewal. And in times of political crisis or national or very human-oriented, brainy crisis, the earth makes itself known. The earth takes a stand to get us to focus on things that perhaps really matter, that we're all sharing a planet and it's safe for us to take care of it. So if we could just breathe into all that and noticing in the different ways, like voting, where we can advocate for what we want, advocate for nature, to speak for the trees. We'll just breathe into all that. Good. And we'll flip to Archangel Ariel, being the primary guide we're working with. If you could notice Archangel Ariel holding both of your hands, both of your palms, and perhaps we're holding them with some vigor, some strength. If we could just take in a breath, and if we could let her transfer energy immediately into your physical body, mental body, emotional body, and spiritual body, and letting that be an instantaneous healing, an instantaneous activation, an instantaneous deeper connection, and a wonderful experience of love coming from this archangel to every single cell in your body. So if we could just breathe into this infusion of love, this archangel caring deeply for you and taking strong action in this moment for you. And with the dexterity of a bird landing on a windy limb, which I just saw, if we could just notice Ariel's dexterity with you, and let's let her use that dexterity to help with anything that's happening physically, like vertigo, like pain, like any depression, any anxiety. Let's let Ariel address those physical things and let her also tap into the emotional root of anything that is happening, creating a space of greater love, greater harmony, greater joy. And if we could just lovingly breathe in and letting Archangel Ariel move through toward working on your mental body. And if we could notice her with a dustpan just sweeping away other people's thoughts, the media's thoughts, anyone's trying to agitate you, let's just let those sweep away. If we could just breathe in like we started with more space, just more space in your brain, more space in your consciousness, more space. And if we could take a moment with Archangel Ariel and just let her show with simplicity, like wearing a pair of glasses and not wearing the glasses, let's let her show you life with faith, with the lens of faith. Let's let her show you the lens of life without faith. And if we could flip back to having faith, and if we could also notice the energy of compassion for noticing that there are people on the planet right now, especially in America, who don't have faith, which means they might just be reacting. If we could just take in a breath and allow the angels just to be near and to address anyone who's feeling a lack of faith, anger at God, disappointment, whatever it is. If we could just breathe in, we'll just notice the angels holding space for those individuals. And if we can notice Huh. Okay, if we, three things at once. If we could notice the angels pouring water on fire, if we could notice the same fire metaphor being used for anyone who has no faith, let's let that state be quenched with water. Let's also let water be poured on anyone who is just reacting and is angry and fearful and terrified at the same time. Let's just let water quench all three of those situations and let water be the means of connection. We'll let all water that's consumed by anyone in America, anyone in the world, to be infused with love, to be infused with the opposite of indifference, which is care, and to be full of grace. So if we could just take in a breath and would notice the opportunity the angels are affording us to really see other people's points of view and to perhaps let the angels solve those things, but having a perspective of what's out there and to recognize the space that we already inhabit, that you already inhabit, of understanding the value of faith, the vantage points that it offers you, and the ability to rapidly change and change for the better. If we could just breathe in and let's say out loud, I welcome positive change in my life now. Thank you, angels, for helping everyone who's in a crisis. Wonderful. If we could just take in a breath and we'll notice all this goodness, all this peace, all this love, all this joy. And we'll take just a moment to notice people you know who are in a crisis or might be in a crisis. If we could just breathe in and to feel the angels at work to help them out. If we could feel the angels putting energy and words and prayers toward those people. And if we could just take in a breath and let that go. They got it. Let's come back to just focusing on you with Archangel Ariel touching your hands. And with a loving release of that grasp of your hands, let's notice Archangel Gabriel placing Gabriel's forehead on your forehead, leaning in. If you could just breathe in and just notice what happens. Wonderful. If we could breathe in, and if we could very simply do forgiveness work, if we could forgive people whom you don't trust, if we could do that 5%, let's just take in a breath and let's say out loud, I forgive everyone I mistrust for everything 5% right now. I forgive everyone whom I don't trust for everything 5% right now. We could just breathe in and just notice energy clearing up. And we'll do self-forgiveness at 50%. If we could breathe in and repeating after me, please. I forgive myself for everything 50% right now. I forgive myself for everything 50% right now. Wonderful. We'll just breathe into that. Fantastic. And we'll just breathe in and we'll say out loud, I ask for forgiveness for everything right now. I ask for forgiveness for everything right now. We'll just breathe in and we'll circle back and we'll forgive everyone 10%. Repeating after me, please. I forgive everyone for everything 10% right now. I forgive everyone for everything 10% right now. So we'll just breathe into that. And let's notice Archangel Gabriel leaning forehead to forehead, face to face, and just noticing what comes to you from Gabriel. Wonderful. We'll just breathe into all that. And let's notice the energy of safety. Let's notice your safety right where you are right now. Let's let that energy of safety be extended to anyone in the world right now who may feel less safe than you do right now. And if we can notice what it's like to hold a space for them to feel safe without you compromising or diminishing your own sense of safety. So if we could just breathe into the steadiness of your safety and put forward a wish, you want to say it out loud. Thank you, angels, for helping all people and animals to feel safe right now. Thank you, angels, for helping all people and animals to feel safe right now. So we'll just breathe into that. And with generosity, with care, and with love, let's notice all three angels, Michael, Ariel, and Gabriel, touching your body. And for this interaction, this closeness, this intimacy, and for all the love that is here, we'll just lovingly say out loud to them, thank you so much. Wonderful. We'll just breathe in. And we'll notice everything. Let's just notice being present right now and everything having an enhanced sparkle to it. And we'll just breathe in to all the peace that is here. And as we do, we thank the presence of Mother, Father, God, and all the archangels and ascended masters. We thank as well the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels. We thank you for this opportunity to feel good. We thank you for this opportunity to celebrate love and to know how cared for we are and how conscious that care is. And we celebrate life. And with generosity, peace, and ease, we quite simply and lovingly ask for this or something better right now in all directions of time. And so it is.